think is so amazing about that is think about this too. You go and introduce yourself to higher ups that it could be your boss's boss's boss. Hey, I just want to introduce myself, spend 5 minutes with you just to understand what you do, your role, what's your passion, how'd you get here. And whether they remember your name or not, they'll remember you, or at least for a moment, and probably remember you for doing something nobody else does.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it was probably one of the first business books that I was
that book is incredible.
It spoke to me.
It spoke hard to me. Yeah. And the thing that spoke hard to me the most on that one was the realization that a corporation like McDonald's that's run that tens of billions of dollars a year is run by a bunch of 16-year-olds.
If you're in a pinch, I want you to know this, Alex.
Yeah.
You can count on me.
You got
Whether
me.
I pick up on my phone, but if we're together, I
Yeah,
got you.
easy.
If we're together, I got you.
Easy. Yeah.
If I'm not there and you need somebody, just call me and I'll get you.
Yeah.
People will younger generation people of the younger generation they annoy me because they think if they don't get something they deserve within a year or two, they go to a different company, do something different.
Right.
I think there's something to be said about longevity, sticking around. And I'm not saying you got to outlast somebody, but a lot of times company would typically try to promote from within. And you were starting to tell a story, and that's when we turn these cameras on.
Yeah, a friend of mine was telling me when he was at a big corporation for 7 years as an internal video production, and then when he went to a nonprofit, a big piece of advice he got from a former coworker was to make such a lasting impression over the first 90 days that you become indispensable, that you are not getting fired, you are not getting laid off, you're not going to go anywhere. And that's what he did. When he got to the new company, he immediately set up one-on-ones with all the executive team to introduce himself, ask questions, and he kept them 10 minutes, 5 minutes. These guys are busy. But he always ended with, if you need anything at all, like seriously reach out. Like, because, if there's weeks where I'm getting to know stuff and it's a little slow, I'll have time to help you. And sure enough, there were some of the more executive types who they were like, hey, I want to make my own social media content at home. It has nothing to do with his purview because he's more in-house corporate. But they were like, I don't know what to do with cameras and lighting, what microphone. And he said, oh, I'll get you the equipment list. Here's the budget. I'll help you order it all, and became so indispensable to people in that company that he told me, like, within the first 90 days in meetings, they were already saying, oh, this guy's amazing. This guy's incredible. He's like, he was the perfect hire to get. And now he's a fixture. He's not going anywhere.
You know what I think is so amazing about that is think about this too. So you go and introduce yourself to higher ups that either it could be your boss's boss's boss. Hey, I just want to introduce myself, spend 5 minutes with you just to understand what you do, your role, what's your passion, how'd you get here, whatever, right? Just to get to understand and know them. And whether they remember your name or not, they'll remember you, or at least for a moment, and probably remember you for doing something nobody else does.
Yeah.
And then secondly, let's pretend there is a corporate event where everybody's showing up and suddenly big dogs with big dog, they both wave at you. How do you know that guy? Oh, he's the guy that came and he did that to you too. What'd you think of me? I thought he was great. Loved his energy. All of a sudden you become known amongst the big dogs for a 10-minute conversation.
Yeah. That's wild, right?
I heard another thing this morning, which is similar, but we are going to bunny trail here. So nothing to do with corporate America.
Yeah, we're drinking bunny trail.
But yeah, this is so where I'm jumping on this lily pad to go from one to the other.
Lily pad, yeah. We're frogs.
We're frogging it.
We're frogging away on a Friday.
Going to Frogger. We're frogging here in the sense that making that extra effort pays dividends on the return of what you did. So a story I heard this morning,
especially in the long run, and that's what we were talking about. Yeah, what'd you hear this morning?
So this morning was something I heard about a professor. He's a college professor, and he was speaking more to like high school students or even a college student. And let's say it's a history test in this example, and you have to write an essay. You have to write an essay form of whatever it is, and the teacher in advance says it's going to be about the Civil War. So in his example, it's okay. He goes, well, if it's going to be about the Civil War, South Carolina is going to be a big part of that. What was their influence, and let's say that was the question, that one of the questions it could be. He goes, what he recommends doing, go to your textbook, figure out it's written by Drew Milton, and look up Drew Milton. He's a professor at NYU, and call NYU and ask for Drew Milton's office hours. It's from 1 to 3 on Wednesdays. 1 o'clock, called 1 o'clock sharp on Wednesday. Call Drew Milton's in his office. Hey, Mr. Milton, big fan. Have your textbook. We're learning about this big guy in the Civil War for which you wrote about. I just have a quick, when I was reading this, I'd just love to know your thoughts. What was South Carolina's involvement in the Civil War, or how did they impact the Civil War? And he goes, then just listen, take all kinds of notes. And then on your test, when that part of the essay comes up, per my interview with Dr. Milton.
Oh my gosh.
Per my interview, here's how South Carolina impacted the Civil War. He goes, you could write the most lame essay ever, But the fact that your professor would just be floored that
That you
you
called
interviewed,
the author.
that you literally interviewed the author, it would give you instant credibility. I thought,
Yeah.
and he goes, "Do you know how long that would take you? A 30-second Google search,
Yeah, 15
a
minutes?
15-minute phone call,
30 at the
and
most to write the notes and
to
just
whatever
yeah,
notes." And he's answering
30
the
minutes.
question. And how could your grade not be an A when you got from the source what it is?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh. So again, it goes back to the young man you described working at
Yeah,
a
yeah.
big company.
But that gives that gives such a lasting impression. That professor, maybe it's like, you know what? B plus because it wasn't exactly what I asked for, but holy crap, the what you did to get that answer, I'm giving you way more credit for that action than the correct right or wrong answer.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah,
Somebody
run a
I
business
love,
like that.
admire, and respect. We were at lunch the other day, and she was bragging because she's very proud, and I am too, right? But she was very much proud to tell the story how our CEO came to town and did a town hall, and that was awesome. Great town hall. It was good for culture. But she was telling this group of realtors, and we were standing there. She said something to the effect of "is really neat, etc." And I agreed with everything. She goes, "It was just neat to breathe the same air."
Mm.
And I thought, how interesting. I personally don't feel that in terms of like that reverence. Like,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
again, good for him, and
yeah.
he's done great. And I'm sure there's a big old couple commas behind his net worth. But the reality is, I personally don't feel that again. I guess reverence would be the right word.
Yeah.
She does, but to her credit, and I'm not saying that's wrong.
No,
It just is.
but I imagine
But
that gets her more excited to be a part of all this,
she's
you know?
she's like, I'm in the same room. I get to experience this. I get to hear it directly from him. And so again, I think as a leader, and I'm using the extreme here, like big company, big CEO, but the
Oh
reality is
yeah.
it doesn't it still translates to a team of 5, to a if somebody that's a solopreneur, that's one thing. But even a solopreneur, it's the same thing where you with your vendors, your customers,
Yeah,
to hear from you,
contractors, clients, yeah.
contractors, how do you treat them and what do you do? So again, it's a tangent that I don't know makes a really strong connection. We're lily padding again. We were looking at the books behind us here.
Yeah, yeah.
What's your what book were you looking for? I cut you off. I don't
Man,
think
it's
we.
the one about the customer journey. It's an old book. Customer journey, the customer experience. Like this guy who like, I don't know, this like heavenly figure shows up and like takes him through a company, through like the business that he wants to build, like the customer journey. It's a famous book. Which one is it? It's in here
I
somewhere.
thought you were Story Brand was the first one I
No,
was
it wasn't
thinking.
Story Brand
Okay.
because that's recent. We're talking
Yeah,
from
yeah.
like the 50s, 60s, I
Oh,
think.
really?
Yeah, it's like a Napoleon Hill style book, and it's all about like the customer journey and about just like mapping out the perfect customer journey. And like the guy takes you through this. I think it's like this woman whose business is suffering, and so then he like takes her on a journey through the business.
I know E-Myth.
I
Not
love E-Myth. Yeah,
E-Myth is
that
great.
one's not here.
That was the big yes at home. I have what's funny, and this would actually be a really good episode.
Yep.
I have about 10 books that I keep in my own private thing to where it's like I don't want anybody to take them.
Yeah, yeah.
E-Myth is one of them. E-Myth was probably one of the first business books that I was
That
like,
book is incredible.
it spoke to me.
It spoke hard to me. Yeah. And the thing that spoke hard to me the most on that one was the realization that a corporation like McDonald's that's run that tens of billions of dollars a year is run by a bunch of 16-year-olds. And so what
Let's also make sure we use the old adage.
Yeah.
Simple doesn't mean easy.
Yeah, 100%.
So
100%.
let's
Yeah,
say
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So let's
Yeah.
say your son can understand
Right.
how to run it, which is again, Apple's the same way. To make something really complex simple
Yep.
is an amazing feat.
It is.
And so again, complex made simple does
Yep.
not mean easy.
This is why you're here. You're here to clarify for me.
But
It's okay.
I'm here to clarify because again, it's one of those I don't want a lot of
But
hate,
it
a lot of
yeah,
trollers.
yeah, but then we'd get 1 million views on this. It'd be great.
I
But
do agree with that fundamentally. That I will also say
it's in a manual, it's in a handbook. There's a process, there's steps, there's a system that if you know how to read and you can think, you can do.
I also will not argue. I will take your side, but also kind of separate that
Yeah,
for
yeah.
a second. Try to say this nicely. It's hamburgers and French fries.
Yeah.
It's not like let's just take my world. I don't want to speak.
Yeah,
the
it's
words.
not mortgages and
But
rates and interest
it's
rates.
Like,
and,
yeah, it's not
yeah.
interest rates. It's
Yep.
not markets. It's not guidelines. It's not investors. It's not wholesale market. This, that, and the other. It's not all that. So it's harder to make and not to mention, very rarely do you get the same look as far as a consumer want to buy a house. Your financials are different than mine. Right. Your setup's different than mine. So it's like underwriting two different people, even though it's the same program, we're both going to get a
they're not going to be underwritten the same.
It's not the same just vibe. So understanding that was McDonald's is yes, you do take this burger patty.
Neanderthals can run that business. Dang it.
These monkeys.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Or these AI robots.
It's just flipping burgers and making fries. Like, yeah, it is.
Yeah. I get that. So you're right.
But that was what was very impressive to me about that book, was the understanding that like any business can be that way. You know, I mean, even in your business, you have a lot of people that work with you and for you and under you, and you know, you're able to grow. You're able to grow it because you have systems in place. It can be as simple as like, here's a Google Doc where I have all my stuff. Here's a sheet where I have this. Here's my CRM that has that. It's a system, and it's better than no system.
And it reminds me of a book which I wouldn't recommend reading.
Which you would not.
I have read.
Okay.
I would not recommend reading it though.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna summarize it in like 30 seconds. It was something about checklists. So I don't remember the exact title of the book, but it was something about checklists and the whole point about like a flight. Like, I really want my pilot to be doing the flaps to make sure the brakes work, to make sure whatever it is pilots need to do to make sure the plane flies and most importantly lands. Yeah. Those are important things. So again, just how important checklists and processes and things like that are in your business. But the distinction is, with my team, I got 3 different folks that we get to the same place.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take the flight analogy. You can leave LA, you get to New York. As long as we leave LA on time, we get to New York on time, nobody cares.
Doesn't really matter how you get there.
You're going to buy a house, I get a contract, and as long as I get what I want and I end up as a homeowner on the day I'm supposed to close
at a price that I'm happy with, and great.
All that stuff. But there's a lot of different scripts. There's a lot of different ways to do it. And as 3 different personalities that I have on the team, one overeducates, and a lot of people love that.
Yeah.
Some people don't.
Because there's some people that needed that though, 100%.
Right? People love it, and so we try to match up personalities. Another can be very much bullet points. And again, the people that appreciate that.
It's like dry, clear. Here's what here's
what I need. No fluff, right?
No fluff.
So again, you can argue which one's better. It's personality.
There's no better. They're all different.
The bullet point, but that doesn't mean it's better. It's just different.
Yep. That's real quick. That's one thing that I do. I've appreciated what I've learned from you a lot over the last couple of years with competition, where you've mentioned this to me a few times, where it's like you don't mind being in a room full of lenders, for example, because not everyone's gonna like that person. They're gonna like you. Not everyone's gonna like you. They're gonna go with them. And that's okay.
98% are going to like me.
Yeah, of course. Well, you're the most likable person I know. Yeah,
idiots.
Yeah, right.
Dumb,
Yeah,
and that's okay. Yeah. There's dumb people.
Yeah, there's dumb people. Yeah. We're not going into that again. But but that you can't really define better or worse. It's just different.
You got 5 kids. Which one's the best? Right?
The one that's in the best mood. Honestly, that's my favorite for the day. That's the best one.
The one with the most potential to take care of me when I'm older. Yeah, that one. That one's clearly one of the girls.
Yeah. No, the girl's a wild card. She's just one of the boys.
She's going to take care of you when you're old.
Yeah.
But again,
scary.
Kids are different, right? Kids are different. Employees are different.
Yeah. So they're all different. Yeah. And you can't say one's better than the other. But with your book, with the checklists, you said that's the book not to read. What's the problem with that?
So the punchline to this, long story, again, this is where
why should I not read it?
This is where the happy hour edition gets longer and more verbose. With the checklist piece for doctors, pilots, call it life or death situations, you're going to follow that damn thing
100%. Did you sterilize the thing? Did you wash your hands?
It's written, you better do it. For my folks at this stage, to get somebody pre-approved, as long as these 20 things got done, I don't care the order. I don't care how. Just make sure they all at least got done.
Yeah.
So if your style is to go, my style could be 1 through 20 because I wrote the playbook. But your style could be, hey, we bounce around, we have, whatever. Mine, and again, admittedly, I'm a natural conversation type to where I can go back and fill in. But if your style is to do this and then do this and then part 1, part 3, part 5, part 2 in that order, good for you. As a boss, I don't care as long as we end up at the same results, which is a happy customer, on time, smooth, whatever. I don't care. But as long as they got done, great. I don't need to be the surgeon checklist. And that was kind of at least my takeaway. Maybe I don't give it the credence, but I didn't name the title, so I'm not bashing anybody.
Yeah.
But again, it is interesting to think a checklist isn't necessarily a checklist. At least not. It changed my term of checklist. A checklist to me is things that need to get done. And then a process is what better happen.
Mm-hmm.
So again, the pilot goes through a quote unquote checklist. I'm like, no, he goes through a process. It has, to your point, clean the scalpel, all this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you clean the scalpel before and after, but you wouldn't clean it twice in the middle of the surgery.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You wouldn't
So
clean it after the surgery.
it matters when you clean it.
Yeah.
You have to do it in these
And
orders.
how you clean it for how many seconds, all that stuff, the ingredients you use to wash it. Yeah.
100%.
That's a process.
It's a process. So I think that's the difference between a process and
A checklist. Yeah.
And I think they can be intertwined.
Yep.
What other book? Okay. Pause. I need a drink. What do you need a drink?
Yeah, in 5 seconds. Yeah.
Right. By the way, have you noticed? You do it towards the camera. Hold on. I do it drink this way towards the camera. I'll do the same.
Okay.
Go. First of all, I love the ice. I don't know how much we have numbers on the bottom of our things.
We got 17.
I got 18.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not 6-7 though.
So there's like a college basketball game where it was like the score is 66, and it was women's basketball. She made the free throw to 67, and all the kids were flipping out. And then she missed the next one, and they flipped out even more. It was awesome. That's what I meant when I was like, it's such a pure, just let it ride as long as possible. And it's probably going to die very soon. It probably already died, but clearly it didn't actually, because it happened today.
Yeah.
Let it ride. You know, good for these kids to have something so just pure and innocent and hilarious. I'm
going to give credit to my in-laws. They came for Halloween, to our Halloween tradition. We go trick or treating with the kids, and yes, they're old enough to where they probably shouldn't, but we did it. And it's a great neighborhood. They block off the street. We do the thing.
That's good.
And they wore the 67. I was like, why didn't I think of that? They just wore a shirt that says 6, and the next one says 7.
Great.
And I'm like,
that's
for
awesome.
You guys, like that's a
awesome.
great. And there were 2 or 3 of those costumes. The best Halloween costume, you're coming up, so start thinking of yours. Was a handful of folks. Maybe it's 2 to 4 people. Don't know. Some dressed up as cops, but not just cops. French police. And others dressed up as construction workers, and they with like bandit mask, because they were the Louvre thieves. The Louvre.
Oh my gosh!
They stole all the jewels.
They got in within 7 minutes, in and out, in the middle of in the morning.
Yeah, like 9 a.m.
It opened.
Yes, and they were in and out. So
what a story!
But the cost, like that was a smart costume, because it's probably a week later.
Yeah, it was in October. Yeah,
and if you're not reading the news, maybe you missed it.
Yeah,
I don't know how you would, but you might have missed it. But they came as bandits, like construction work bandits, and then the French police.
That's nuts.
Best costume you saw this year, Halloween.
The best costume I saw this year,
kid or adult, it's okay. Creepy.
Man, what was it? We saw a lot of K-pop demon hunters.
Nice.
Saw a lot of those. That was in. Man, well, when you're wrangling 5 kids, it's kind of hard to pay attention to what people are wearing.
You're happy to leave the house with 5 and come home with 5.
If
you come home with 7, that's fine. As long as it's 5 or more, you came home with 5.
It was nice that our neighbors were throwing a party, and they had a kegger outside, and they took us in and gave me a beer. That was fantastic. That was awesome.
Fantastic.
Very grateful to those neighbors. They're great. Yeah.
God love them. They recognized the man.
Yeah, they were like, you need a drink.
Man down. This guy needs something. He needs something. Stat.
Yeah, he needs some liquid right now.
He needs to be hydrated.
Yeah, he needs a keg stand is what he needs. I used to do a pretty good job on keg stands.
Yeah, I did it once, and I just...
I love them.
I will tell you. I have made so I will tell a story. Names.
We'll end it with this, because we need refills, and then we can shoot a little more.
You're right.
Yeah.
Wasn't the first time I hung out with this guy. A realtor I know.
Here in DFW?
Here in North
Do
Texas.
I know them?
I don't think so. It's okay.
Okay.
So
I just want to know who I had to judge internally.
We go on a golf trip.
Yep.
And on said golf trip, it had nothing to do with the alcohol. I assure you, we were actually fine. He was doing something to be funny with a cone, and you're in golf traffic, leaving the event, and he literally ran over the cone on purpose. It wasn't because he was inebriated.
He was just like, "Oh, let me do this fun, dumb thing."
We needed to turn right to go, then call it a quarter of a mile to go where we needed to go. Instead, they were going to reroute you, which would have been a 30-minute detour versus that 30-second where it was. He's like, man.
So take the risk. Let's go.
I'm not doing that. So we just ran over the cone, because the cones were literally like within 18 inches of each other.
Oh, okay.
There wasn't like...
There was no space. You had to run one over. Yeah.
You're not doing slalom. Yeah. You're literally just going over. He's like, all right, I'm doing this. So he takes out the cone. Well, it was a really tall cone. and the cone stays under the car, and you're still in traffic going slower than a walk, and the cone just. So the cop literally walks up, knocks on the glass, pulls over. He goes, "We're taking your friend downtown for DWO," which he did not get because, again, it wasn't alcohol
Yeah.
induced. It was just
I feel like
I just
yeah.
need to go home. And so I sat there and I was like, man, not cool. So anyway, I get home. I got to figure out how to get a guy out of jail, apparently. And I'd never talked to his wife. So I get to call her, ring, ring. "Hey, so-and-so, how's it going?" She's like, "Hey." And then she kind of, the way she said the hey, it dropped off real quick. Like, "Why are you calling me?"
Yeah.
Because I called him from her cell phone. I was like, "Hey, man, what's your passcode? Give me your phone before they take you away. What's the password so I can get it?" So I called the wife. "Hey," it's just because she thought it was honey. "Hey, it's Mark. Hey, what?" Like one of those. "Yeah, so this guy's been arrested. Don't worry, I'm on it.
I got you.
I got
Yeah.
you. Got you."
Got you.
So I handled it flawlessly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I will say I got kudos from both of them later for how I handled
Good,
it and how
good,
quickly
good.
I got a
Yeah.
bail's bondsman and all this stuff. So I was like,
Jeez.
man, but if you're in a pinch, I want you to know this, Alex.
Yeah.
You can count on me.
You got
Whether
me.
I pick up on my phone, but if
Yeah.
we're together, I
Yeah.
got you.
Easy.
If we're
Yeah.
together, I got you.
Easy. Yeah.
If I'm not there and you need somebody, just call me and I'll get you.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
All right, pause.